In this video, I'm going to cover something that if you're maybe new to trading or if you're new to trading cryptos, is probably a good strategy to learn. And one of the reasons for this, I've been doing this with people I've been coaching and friends that I was coaching, for instance, and I didn't realize that now that I think about it, it's actually a pretty good strategy in crypto. And here's where we're at right now with the market, right? And if you're watching this, later on or years down the road, I think it's still a great strategy. So, well, providing that the same holds true for what I'm about to say. But right now, Bitcoin's dropping, ETH is dropping, alts are dropping, everything is dropping, right? So it's very hard to even day trade BTC, not even day trade, swing trade or anything BTC. We don't know where the bottom is. Confidence is being lost across the board, right? But let's say that you believe in the long-term value of cryptocurrencies and the promise of the technology and everything else, and you have a long-term outlook, right? So you're in it for the long term, and you see this as changing technology, but maybe you want to sharpen your skills as a trader, or you want to learn to trade so that you can ride the return, right? The best way I think you can do that is, of course, you can paper trade, and I did that for a while, right? And what I found is when you paper trade, at least with me, I did much better paper trading than I did when I started using real capital. And this is when I was starting. And it's because the emotions, right? With paper trade, it's not real. It's even if you design a system and you're like, yeah, it works. This is great. This works for me. I get it. When it comes to real, the greed, the fear, the everything else, until you work that out of your system, until you get used to it, it's like anything else. You train the way you're gonna fight, right? That's what I think. That's from the army or something, but it's true. You want your training to be so hard that when you get to the real event, it's like cakework. Now, the challenge in trading is it doesn't quite work that way because you can't really replicate the true nature of having capital on the line. But in the crypto market, I think there's a unique opportunity, which is, let's say that you do believe in the long-term aspect of crypto, right? And the two store of values in crypto at this point in time is BTC and ETH. ETH is kind of a platform play in a way, and BTC is the digital gold. Now at this time, this can change, right? So if you think about it, if you're in both of those, right, in a way, you're kind of in the core, I'd say the core asset holdings of cryptocurrencies, right? So if your account moves from ETH to BTC to BTC to ETH, they're going to rise together, right? So I think one of the strategies that you can do is that you can actually learn trading ETH BTC pairs. So you see here, I'm looking at ETH BTC, and basically what you're doing is you're trading BTC against the ETH, right? So you're basically you're saying, okay, for whatever value of BTC, I'm going to buy this much of ETH. And there's a couple things you'd have to keep in mind with this, because both of these are kind of stored a value on dollars or your currency. They're kind of the most well known, right? And they're used ETH for ICOs and other stuff. You have to keep kind of two numbers in mind when you do this. You'd have to keep the Bitcoin tick numbers and look at those as resistance, right? And you'd also have to know the dollar figure, your local currency number, right? But the good thing about trading this way is that if I traded this dip right here and it went down more, well, I'm technically still in the crypto market at a higher level, value level I would consider than if you traded an alt, okay? So I'll give you an example, right? BQX, right? Let's say I buy this dip here, right? And it goes down, I don't know, 50% or whatever. Well, I'm BQX does not have a long enough track record, does not have a more store of value. It does not have the same thing as ETH or BTC, obviously, right? Obviously BTC, but of course, ETH, right? So if you're trading and you make a loss, you really could just hold ETH. And one thing to keep in mind is that oftentimes ETH and BTC go in conjunction with each other, but that's not always the case. But it also will train you to teach. It also will teach you to trade BTC, which is important because that drives everything. So I think hopefully this is clear, and I probably could have made this video a lot shorter. But if you look at this, if you're looking to learn trading, you can trade alts. That's great. But I think if you're new, and this is what I do with a lot of the friends that I coached, is that I said trade the BTC ETH pairs, because both of those are store of values in this market. And if you're down on a trade, you can really hold, because basically you're kind of shifting value, right? In some way. I mean, that's not exactly true. You're still kind of losing, but I look at it as a shift of value. It's not like from silver to gold, but in some ways it's kind of the way to look at it, right? Although that's not really the best way either. But I look at that as that's the kind of the best way to hedge, because your other option, right, if you want to learn trading, is a paper trade or start trading. And there's two things I suggest: either trade BTC for your local fiat, or you could trade ETH too for your local fiat. That's the other option. Or BTC to alts, right? I think alts is the tougher play for accumulation of the core assets that's within crypto, within the core base of what's in crypto. Hopefully I'm clear. And I probably could have said this like within 2 minutes, but that's what I would suggest. Now, how do you do that? It's pretty simple. You follow kind of some of the outlines that I've already outlined, but look, here's a prime example. Here's a dip. So now what you're probably asking yourself right now is, should I buy this dip? Right? I did buy this dip actually. So I bought this dip in USD. I buy every dip just because I don't know. Like I said, you can never time dips, right? But if we look at, and I'm on a 5-minute chart, that's why it looks so weird. So, you know, I'm going to buy this dip here, right? We're going to buy this dip here because this is pretty strong here. Now, this is a huge rise back in January 28th, right? Huge run up. I've bought every bit along here, which, you know, it is what it is. So this is where you just kind of look here, and you just, you could, I would, if you're looking to swing trade, look at the hour bars, right? If you're looking to do maybe some day trade, maybe that's where you think your style is at, right? You know, look at your 15-minute bars and really trade off the 15-minute bars, right? So you could do that really easily if you look at kind of some of the opportunities here. Obviously, here's a dip right here, right? So that was a good opportunity, right? And remember what you're doing. You're basically trading BTC for ETH, and then you would cash out of ETH back to BTC. So BTC is the gold, and then ETH is the store of value. But let's say that the trade went against you, right? So you could just hold, right? So you did buy ETH at a bad price, and you did transfer over BTC. But most likely what's happening is that BTC is going down as well, right? So it's I can't say it's a wash, but it's such a better way, I think, to trade in this market, because if you make a bad trade, you're still in a store of value that will rise together. There's no guarantee that the alts will rise together at this point in time. So, and maybe at the same level, right? So that's one way to look at it. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this is clear. If it's not clear, I definitely will share more. Just ask. But I think that's the best strategy for people that are looking to trade right now, especially in these uncertain times.